Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rose Wrights, and I haven't posted in a while, but I have missed you all dearly. If you'd like to see my life update and all the things I have been up to, check out my post on the community page. Without further ado, please enjoy Adrien's garden. Beautiful flowers of various aromas lined the flower bed in a rainbow arc. In the middle of the garden was a marble statue of a picturesque family standing, a mother embracing her young son. A blonde-haired boy sat crisscross in front of the figures, hair catching the light of the sun as it began to set. Marinette watched him motionless from the gate as he occasionally wiped his eyes, shielding them from the golden glow. "She's beautiful," she whispered, standing timidly behind him. He was unaware of her lingering presence. He jerked to his feet, shielding his face from view, wiping what tears remained on his handsome face. "Marinette, hey. Sorry, I didn't know you were here. I should have. Or if I would have known, I could have. What I'm trying to say is..." He took a deep breath, plastering a smile on his face, his emerald eyes still glossy from crying. "Would you like to come in for some tea?" Marinette exchanged a gentle smile, taking his hand, leading him back to the spot of worn grass in front of the statue he previously occupied. "I've already got it covered." She spread a red and white checked blanket, smoothing it out, freeing the fabric of wrinkles. Adrien finally managed to smile back. Marinette's presence warmed his heart like a soft breeze on this summer day. He inhaled, the sweet scent of the garden mixing with Marinette's perfume. Perfection. "Is hibiscus tea still your favorite?" Marinette said, almost a whisper, as she poured the purple liquid into 2 cups. He gave a faint nod as he picked up the dainty glass, careful not to spill. He stared at it for a moment before taking a sip, reminiscing on the past few months. Adrien realized he had been missing in action for months. But Marinette didn't blame him. He stayed to himself, locking himself in his room or sitting in the garden. Finding out his father was the villain terrorizing Paris all these years couldn't have been easy. She just didn't know how to help him. Could she help him? Offering tea was the best offering she had to give him at the moment, she thought to herself. That and kindness, maybe the company of a friend. They sat in silence for a long while, sipping on their tea and nibbling on the freshly baked macaroons. "I wish you could have met her," Adrien said, nodding in the statue's direction. "She would have loved you." He chuckled softly, as if preoccupied by a memory of his mother, Emily Agreste, a slender, tall woman with hair just as golden as his own. Before Marinette could reply, Adrien spoke again, anger rising in his voice. "If she were here, she would know what to say. She would know what to do. Everything. All of this is my fault." "Adrien." Marinette reached out, her fingertips gently grazing his arm. "There's nothing you could have done. You didn't know that... Marinette floundered for words to say to him. He replied, his voice cold. "That the monster I used to call my father was Hawkmoth? That he killed my mother by forcing her to use a broken Miraculous selfishly? This went on in my own home and I didn't know. If I had known, I could have stopped him. I could have... His voice drifted off. The words became hoarse as tears began to flow once more. His shoulders slumped, fists balled up tightly into his eyes, almost as if to stop the tears. Marinette clutched him tightly to herself, clinging to his shirt. She held him as he cried, feeling his breathing begin to settle. Minutes passed, how many she wasn't sure, but she would hold him for as long as he needed her. She would always be there for him. The young woman's face ran hot as she felt his arms finally embrace her back. Adrien's breathing regulated, the tears stopping. Marinette's shirt was soaked, but she didn't mind. Not one bit. He slowly released her, still gripping her hands lightly. "I'm sorry, Marinette." He looked as if he wanted to continue, but she cut him off. For what, silly? Having feelings? Adrien, I'm here for you. I've always been here for you. I will always be here for you, and you're here for me. That's what friends do. Marinette said the bitter words. Friends. They were more than that. She knew that. They were partners. She loved Adrien fiercely, and one day she hoped that he would realize. I love you too, he said, a blush spreading across his tanned face. Me? I didn't say that but I also didn't say that I didn't love. In typical Marinette fashion, she fumbled for the correct words that captured her feelings. It was like she was 14 again, but that hadn't been the case for so many years, and still here she was. You didn't have to, Adrien chuckled, moving her midnight fringe out of her face. I love you, Marinette. I always have. I'm so lucky to have you by my side. She stuttered a moment more before he tilted her chin up to meet his gaze. He smirked, a familiar look that she had seen so many times from her feline partner. Adrien kissed her gently, shock filling Marinette before she leaned into him. Life was messy and imperfect, but in the glow of Adrien's garden, she knew things would be okay because they had each other. When they felt the world resting on their shoulders, they could carry it together. And suddenly, everything was perfect. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. It feels so good to finally be back. Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and as always, stay miraculous.